All right, so Can't You Hear Me Knocking by the Stones. This is from Sticky Fingers, 1971. And this is such an awesome song. Really a great groove, you know. And Keith Richards' part is in open G, and it really shows his kind of mastery of that tuning. And it really, you know, his feel is so good and so unique. Really hard guy to copy, just because he's so unique, right? And I'm just doing the first bit, the first couple of minutes, before it goes into that extended jam. And if you click that either, or the link below in the description box, it'll take you to my website, and I'll put a couple of quotes there from Keith and Mick about how that extended jam came about, and that's really interesting. But for this lesson, we're just going to work on Keith's part mostly. I'll show you Mick's later. Mick Taylor's a little more simple and standard tuning, but this is Keith's part. It's in open G, so you want to tune that E string down to a D, and then the A string down to a G. The next three stay the same, D, G, B, and tune your high E down to a D. And Keith used to just take that E string off when he played open G songs, because you don't need it, you never use it. But if you're going to leave it on, like most of us will, tune it down to a D, just in case you accidentally hit it. Okay, so pretty well 90% of it is all here. It's based around that D chord there, and we've got these two notes, 10th fret D and G, 9th fret D and G, 10th fret A and D, 9th fret A and D. So and that's 90% of the lick. So instead of me telling you frets and stuff, like I'm just going to play these licks slow, maybe a couple of times, and because it's all there, right? Oh, that's your first one. And, you know, you gotta use upstrokes in this song. Like, some of it is downstrokes, but if you use downstrokes in the whole song, it's gonna sound way too stiff and rigid, okay? And this has got a real loosey-goosey kind of feel, so you know, you got to get into that feel. Okay, so we've done the first one. Now the next one is, right? Now the next one is, right? We're getting that string separate. Now, you know, you'll see me doing that or that, because that's the way I like to play. Doing that to me is super awkward, and if you can't do that or that, you're going to have to do this, but preferable is to just do it with one finger. Okay, so that last lick was, and then the next one is, right? So upstroke on that D string there. And then we get into this one. Right? And that's just a bend there on the 9th. And we slide down, right? And we're that again, right? And then we start to get into the singing, the verse, right? And that last one is just the D note and then the D and G. And I use my third finger there because I can get my first there easily. If I went, you know, I've got to do a fast move, right? But if I do this, I'm right there. Okay, so let's do that whole intro a little bit slower. And then we're going to go like this. And what that is we're 7th fret, B and E. Barring here, right? And the first one is that. It's that C note and 7/5 on the B. And then three, 4, 1, 2. And then we do it again. Except this time, instead of going, we're going to go right, double stop, 7th to 5th, G and B. So, and now we're going to go, which is a great open G lick. And what we're going to do is upstroke from the G string back. We're going to go, so slide into 4, A4, open D, open G, and then hit the G on D5. Then 3 open, 5, 7, right, on the A. So, okay, now you could go just open D. Same thing. I kind of prefer that one because you can kind of put a bit of vibrato on that note if you want. All right, and then we're going to go back here. And when he does that, like I would say 99% of the time he's going that one. You know? He can do either. It really doesn't matter. And I mean, he may even do things that are different than that. It's hard to tell with Keith sometimes, right? Because he's just into the feel of it. So, right? Right, then okay, so what we do there is after this D, A, G, okay, back to this. That's a great one. Love that one. We're palm muting here. Right? And we're separating those notes. We're not going... We're separating them. And then... Okay, you know, I hope this isn't moving too fast, but there's a ton of variations on these licks, right? Okay, so let's go from here. So So what you notice on that last one is you kind of lead in with that C. So you go. And then you do that same open G lick. And then the very last one is 2, 4, 1. Okay, that's killer. Love that one. 2, 4, 1. So it's all these licks are really similar, and that they're always the hardest to learn because If they're really different, then you can kind of in your mind you go, well, that's this one, and this is this one. But when they're similar, they all kind of jumbled together, right? So now thing, and then to finish it off, then we're into the chorus. Okay, so let's go over the whole thing so far, and we'll play it a bit slower. So. Okay, and now we're into the chorus. And the chorus is, we lead it in again with that C, G. And we play this F chord, which is up here. And we kind of play A, D, and G strings. And upstroke on that F note on the B string, right? So. And then, right, F, C, and then we throw in that lick. So, off on that G, right? Off, and we do that lick. Very similar to the other lick. So we just end it there. Okay. Second time. Just that. Down, down, all open. Last time. Right? So we're D. Right, and then we're back into this. Right, so then okay, and then we do that bit, which is the open G. Okay, which I just love that. And it's so driving, you know, it's so simple, but it works so well. What I did there is I just threw that one in again. That's probably my favorite lick. Then now this lick here, I think it's actually a mistake, but I could be wrong. But instead of it going, he goes. So he does that lick. And then we're into the C, G. Do that again, right? Okay, and then there's that lick, which to me is, that's just killer. That's a great open G lick. Okay, so fifth, third, E string, then open E, and try and let that ring. And then a little bend on the third fret of G, open G, and then third fret of D. Put a little bend on them. Right, so. And that's how I ended it. All right, so those are all Keith's licks. I know there's a ton of licks there, and I know they're like confusing, but you know, if you put them together one at a time, you'll get it. You'll eventually get it. Okay, I'm just going to quickly go over a mix part, and I've just got to retune, so just give me a second. All right, so we're in standard tuning now, and Mick Taylor's part is going to come in on when the singing starts, and it's going to start on a D. So we're basically just going a D to a C, a G, right? And then we've got an F and a C, or there if you want, right? So we're going to go. So that's just it. That's really all there is to it. Da 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 da. And we're muting these strings to get that clicky thing. And sometimes you'll do that, right? Just dun, 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 right? And really staccato. And this is one of those parts that's super dead easy, right? But the trick to this is not rushing. Because I found when I was doing my demo, I'd be like, you know, rushing it, but you got to really try and play behind the beat with these kind of songs, right? So. Do. Okay, so that's just, you know, G, F, C basically, right? And 1, 2, 3, 4 accents on every downbeat, right? Okay, and that's pretty well it for Mick Taylor's part. Really straightforward, really simple, but combined with Keith, and you know, that's kind of the magic of the Stones, right? Is the way all those guitar parts sort of mesh together. And a lot of people think that when Mick Taylor was in the band, that was the best version of the Stones, and that was a pretty good version. You know, they came up with a lot of really good stuff with that version. Anyways, that's it for this one. Hope you enjoy it. I hope you get something out of it. Learning Keith stuff is, I think it's really, really beneficial to any guitar player to kind of learn how he did all that stuff in open G, and to try and get into that vibe, that feel that the Stones had, you know, which is kind of, I mean, it's weird. It's like, it's sort of a loose, sloppy feel, but it's so powerful and so effective and so hard to duplicate just because of the uniqueness of those guys. You know, like Charlie Watts' drumming, it's a huge part of the Stones. He's kind of got that Ringo-ish sort of lazy behind the beat sort of style. You know, try and copy that, right? Try and sound like that. It's really hard to do because it's unique to them. It's their own sort of fingerprint of playing, right? Anyways, that's it for this one. Like I said, I hope you get something out of it, and we'll talk to you next time.